Rob Roberts.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. The UK has high levels of workers' rights, but the honourable members for Wansbeck and Leeds East have helped us to understand why we're having this debate. Another episode in a long series of the Labour Party's bombastic scaremongering. Firstly, they whip up anxiety. An emotive issue. Today, employment rights. They undermine, they misrepresent, and they scare the public. Then they bring it to the House. They use the authority of this chamber to legitimise their spin. And opposition day debates such as these never serve to shine a light on issues and foster positive debate, only to attack and to stoke fear. And the final stage is to bring the issue online. This is where we see the results of their dangerous rhetoric, Mr. Deputy Speaker. It generates such divisive discourse, leads to horrific abuse of members on this side of the House, ending with vandalism and even death threats, sadly, often targeted at female members. It has to stop. Correct that things like fire and rehire are challenging, but it's part of an inherent flexibility that has to exist in the workplace, but must be used responsibly. The government has engaged ACAS to provide evidence and report on the situation, and I'm confident that it'll be properly dealt with. National living wage, increasing, boosting the income of the lowest paid. Who's responsible? This Conservative government. £280 billion package of support to get people through the last 12 months. And beyond, brought in by this government, whilst the Labour Party saw it as a good crisis to exploit. There are many areas that the UK has higher levels of employment rights than were required as part of our EU membership, confirming that if we wanted to have lower standards, we could have done, but didn't and don't intend to. Leaving the EU hasn't lowered our standards. It's given us the opportunity to continue to raise workers' rights, just as we always have. I commend the Right Honourable Lady, the member for Camberwell and Peckham, for her ideas about assisting with child illness. Sadly, the Right Honourable Lady is in the minority in her party in terms of helpful suggestions, and typical of them to avoid talking about the real issues. Because if it's not employment rights, Mr. Deputy Speaker, it's the NHS. In 1997, Tony Blair warned us there were 14 days to save the NHS. Then it was 24 hours on the day before polling. By 2012, the Right Honourable Member for Doncaster North declared we only had 3 months to save the NHS, before telling us again in 2015 that we only had 100 days. Despite these predictions of doom and disaster, it's still there, and it's brought us through some of the darkest and toughest months in recent history. The government's committed to strengthening and protecting workers' rights, but the Labour Party already know that. I urge them to buck up their ideas, drop the spin, and join the real debates, because a strong opposition makes for a stronger government, and that's what we should all be striving for.